What's up, everybody? We're back. No, we're not. What's up, everybody? We're back for another edition of everybody's favorite show right here on Netflix. Top 5 greatest things that this time Rob has done on a disc golf trip. Number 5, which is probably number 1, but honestly, it's really the biggest contribution or whatnot that anybody, I guess, has made to the trips, like individually. But for Rob, I don't know, it feels much more expensive, much bigger. That's going on the trips. Like, the effort he's put into making the trips. That dude flew the very first trip, very first 2-off-1 trip. That dude flew from Indiana to here in North Carolina so that we could then drive back up, north to take him home. That was the first. Then he drove from Indiana to Tennessee to meet us there for a day trip, which was like 5-6 hours of driving by himself. Maybe it was only 4.5, I don't know, but it was at least that. I know we drove 6. I think we drove a little bit more than he did, but I mean, it wasn't much. I want to say he drove 5.5 at least. And that was one way. So that dude put in a 10-hour driving day solo just to meet us for a day trip. That's that's big. That's big time. Like, that's really going to get it. Then we had the other trip going out to Illinois, where he again flew down here. So that dude's made 3 trips. And I mean, he's put in work just to be a part of any of it. That's getting it done. So, hey, number 4. And number 4, pops on the first trip that we ever took, but it didn't pop until the last course of that first trip. And again, if you follow along here at Panorama, Rob didn't really play disc golf. His disc golfing adventure started on the 2-off-1 trips. So either way, short story long, we're at Glenwood Park, and I've mentioned this in other videos, like the forehand video. I don't know the hole, but dude rips into a forehand, and to me that was one of the biggest moments, or one of his greatest accomplishments, because when he ripped into the forehand, it was like, dude's got it. Like, dude can golf. I guess anytime you go from like struggling to hit that 200 as a new player, really any plateau, if I magically throw 400 of them tomorrow, that's gonna be big time, but you're struggling to hit 2, and then all of a sudden on flat ground, dude just cranks like a 280-foot forehand. Like, if I found out it was 300 foot, again, it's not surprising to me. But it was flat, it was smooth. It was an impressive shot. And so, for that to happen on the trip right there with, everybody, me and him, Dut, John, I just thought that was a cool moment. So that was number 4. Which brings us to number 3. Again, dude's been on a few trips, but we got to go back to trip number 1 for this one. There we were in, man, I don't even know where we were, but I think it was Cincinnati. And we were at this hotel. Me and Dut, I think John went for a walk. Maybe just me and Dut at the time, before Rob got out there. Either way, details are hazy, but none of that matters. What matters is I was walking up to the hotel And I see this just gorgeous figure. I just remember, like, it was just breathtaking, just mesmerizing. And that was one of the first times, maybe the only time in my life, I actually saw somebody through a glass stripping, just out in the open. And I just remember, like, just looking into that window with all those curves, just straight beauty, and thinking, I wonder if Rob knows that that window's open. And so I did what anybody would do, and I started taking pictures. And hopefully I can find some and share them. But yeah, Rob's tripping down right there in front of all of Cincinnati, or whatever city it was, right down to his nothingness for all the world to see. I mean, if that don't say top 5 greatest moments on a disc golf trip, I don't know what does. Either way, that was a fantastic moment, and I wish everybody was there to live it with me. So moving on from the greatest sight any man has seen, we're now at number 2. Number 2. Man, this one kind of got a little bit stolen from me. But once again, going back to the first trip, Rob had a lot of good moments that first trip, come to think of it. Like, you know, whatever happened with that one old lady we talked about in the other video. But this was same course, Shinley Park. I had gotten a phone call, and when I received the call, you know, I'm talking, and Rob's teeing off, downhill shot, and I hear like commotion behind me, and I turn back just in time to see the slowest rolling disc as it just trickled across the ground right toward the bucket, and then dink, hits the pole, and Rob snatched him on his first ever trip, third course we played, caught him some metal, and got him a metal burger that would be cashed out into a Pittsburgher. So not only did dude get a metal burger in like the third round of disc golf he ever played, but dude also was able to cash it in for a Pittsburgher. Like, that's the best burger anybody's got on a trip. Like, how lucky can you be? I mean, I guess how skilled can you be? But yeah, frickin' Pittsburgher. What a stud. That dude's turned out studly twice already. We should get to number 1. Number 1. Man, number 1, back to the first trip, back to Cincinnati. We go to the Natty, and this was epic times. We're at the Natty. I love that place. Like, the first trip, it was just, I can't describe how much fun we were all having at the time. Really, it's hard to describe the fun on any of the trips unless you go. But this was first trip. Everything was wondrous. And they got this basket on top of a sign there at the Natty. And it's pointing all the different directions to courses, like everywhere from like Maple Hill, Winthrop, somewhere in like Europe, Australia. It's got all kinds of stuff on there. Renaissance Park in Charlotte. And there's the little mini basket on top that you can throw your mini up there into. Well, you can try to. And we had bought a mini inside, so me and Dut and Rob decided to have a mini off. A little mini ace run challenge. And I went, I think Rob might have went, I don't know who went first. Either way, we all three went around and didn't hit it. Or no, did we all three? I think that goober hit it on his first try. I didn't get another shot at it? What a loser. Man, that dude's greedy. That's all it comes down to, just straight greed. So we had this mini. Not only do you get to try to make it, but the winner, like, got some cash or something. You know, we make little prop bets. And, either way, that dude bucketed the mini. First try, freaking stud again. That's 3 times stud. The more I go through this list, the more Rob's had a lot of good moments. He was cashing out at Maple Hill. This man just captured the Circle 2 bet. He's now $8 to the good, and the rest of us are still poor. He cashed out at the Natty. No wonder he can afford to fly down here before every trip. We're paying for it. Either way, that's your top 5 of Rob's greatest hits. Disc golf trip style. Disc golf trips. Yay! Good pull, dude. Robert Hurst back on the box.
Nice. Local. Hey, good shot.
That looked fantastic. Hole 18, Rob finishing us up with this ace. It might go in. I think you got it.
Oh my God.